Alright, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Black Metal Rebellion. I'm your host, Jesse Morgan, and this will be the first punk collection update of the year. It's been a while since we've done one of these, that's for damn sure. And got some pretty cool stuff here if you are into punk, so definitely stick around and see what we got. First thing is one that I've been trying to get for a while. If you're a big fan of Rancid, you might also enjoy their previous band, and that is Operation Ivy. This is their kind of self-titled compilation of a couple of their releases on Hellcat Records. Lots of great stuff on here. We'll just kind of go through what's on this, really. Basically, tracks 1 through 9 on here is from the album Energy, back from 1989. Tracks 20 to 25 is from a 7-inch EP called Hectic. And tracks 26 to 27 are from a double 7-inch EP compilation called Turn It Around. So lots of good shit on this. These are the respective releases that all those things I'm talking about came from. So pretty cool. The front of this kind of looks like their very first album a bit, minus some artwork, but it has the Mystery Man, Operation Ivy guy there. The Ska Man, I guess as they call him. But yeah, pretty neat. I like the imagery. And the songs are really, really cool. Really catchy. Really kind of DIY. Very lo-fi punk. And I know some people aren't really the biggest fan of lo-fi punk for whatever reason, but punk is one of those like DIY kind of scenes for the most part, unless you get into like pop punk and just big kind of record label accepted punk. Most part it is like lo-fi and shit. So I don't know, if you're into punk and you're not into lo-fi stuff, I don't know what to tell you. Fucking love that shit right there. Great stuff. Great song. Then, I don't know, maybe you just can't appreciate, like, the beginnings of bands, like being in the garage. Maybe you've never been in a band yourself. I don't know, but to me, I really like lo-fi stuff. It doesn't have to have crystal clear production. It doesn't have to have like that big like label sound to it to be enjoyable. And the materials collected in this Operation Ivy compilation is amazing. I wouldn't mind actually getting a copy of Energy or their Hectic EP, but yeah, this stuff's really good. It's got Knowledge, it's got Bombshell, Unity, it has where the fuck is the Bad Town? But yeah, it's got tons of good tracks on here. Definitely check out Operation Ivy if you're into Rancid at all. I still need to get their first self-titled album from '93, I think it is. I could be wrong, but back in the early days. But yeah, great stuff. Glad to finally have a copy of Operation Ivy on a physical format. And speaking of which, this was one of the last, like I said, Rancid albums I needed. Besides the very first album, this is Honor Is All We Know. It's the 8th album in their collection. Not bad. I mean, it's a little better than some, not as good as others. The album that followed this was definitely a lot more enjoyable, but it's still got some decent tracks on it. Highly worth getting if you are a Rancid fan, either way. And yeah, I was kind of like procrastinating on picking this one up. I saw a copy in my local Deja Vu Discs one time, and like, oh, I should probably pick it up. And then it disappeared. And then I saw it pop up at the Now and Then store at the local mall. And I'm like, yeah, I'll pick it up. Not really too many people in Oshawa are into punk, so it'll probably be there. And, I waited a month. Another month went by. And then finally I had some money around, Christmas time or winter solstice time. And I'm like, you know what, I should probably finally pull the trigger on it. So I did. I picked up Honor Is All We Know, and it's a pretty good album. Evil Is My Friend, Honor Is All We Know. Gravedigger, Raise Your Fist. There's some pretty decent tracks on here, but yeah. So that's the 8th album by Rancid. I like the green, that olive drab fucking green color on there. It's different from most of their albums, which is like either red and black or red and white themed. Alright, next, moving on to some street punk. This is The Casualties with Diehards. This is their 4th album. Lucky to be able to pick this up for an alright price. I'm not sure if I got it from the Declutter store. I think it's from the Declutter store, and if not, it was from a different shop on eBay. And I always tell people, like, if you want some alright prices for stuff and you don't mind them being used half the time, go check on eBay. There's some alright stuff. But of course, once again, if they're like newer albums, go hit up the band or the band's Bandcamp and pick up that stuff, because, you know, it helps support the band and, you know, keeps them going, keeps music coming. Otherwise, if it's old stock that they probably don't have, then you know, you're probably gonna have to look on eBay or Amazon or Discogs if it's really rare. But yeah, this was good. It was just the Casualties doing Casualty stuff. It's very thrashy, crusty punk, kind of street punk style of punk rock, and it's good. It's aggressive. It's blurry, apparently. It's fast, and just look at those fucking outfits, man. It screams punk as fuck. So hell yeah, crusty fucking looking dudes there. But yeah, I really enjoy this album. It's pretty good. It's definitely, you know, early Casualties stuff. Their first 2 or 3 albums are going to be a bitch to find at a reasonable price, especially For the Punks. Like, For the Punks is going to be a bitch to find unless they re-release it. But yeah, I'll probably eventually pick up the Underground one, or On the Front Line. Yeah, On the Front Line. I'll probably pick up that one next eventually, and then work my way around from there. I don't know about the new one. I'm not really stoked on how it turned out, but the new one, like the really new one with the new singer, I'm interested in seeing. If you listen to the Casualties, what do you think of the new singer? Have you heard the new album yet? Does it stand up to Jorge or George's or whatever, however you want to pronounce his name? But does it stand up to his vocals? Is it different? Because I actually haven't heard him yet. But yeah, stoked to have this. All right, and another Casualties one. Got it from the same shop. I still think it's the Declutter store, but it could be something else. I don't think it's Rare Waves. I got some stuff coming from Rare Waves. Pretty good shop. This is the Casualties with Under Attack. This is their 6th album, if you don't count that Spanish version of the album that came before that. I can't remember what it is, but yeah. So I count this as the 6th album because I don't count the Spanish one. It's just basically the one album but done in Spanish. So there you go, the inside of there. This was also, you know, all right. This was done around the We Are All We Have album. Fuck. I don't know. Where the hell is it? Of course, I don't have it in a super duper accessible spot. We Are All We Have. Yeah, it was around that era. So it's still pretty good. So once you start getting closer to the new age stuff, it's kind of hit and miss. But this is still fairly street punky kind of style. As you can see from the picture there, they're still fucking looking punk as fuck. But yeah, glad to get a copy of this. I really enjoy the Casualties and what they do. Still kind of fast, aggressive street punk stuff. And their old stuff is just, like I said, it's hard to get a hold of. And when you can find it, it's just so ridiculously priced. And it's not something I want to, throw that kind of money out for punk. Like, if I'm going to spend that kind of money, I'm going to go buy some black metal, because, I don't know, I feel black metal is you're kind of expected to pay that price, whereas punk is just kind of like bargain bin prices. I don't know why. Maybe I shouldn't feel that way, but That's just kind of how I see. I see punk as kind of like good music, but bargain value prices. And then black metal, it's just, it must be the cult thing. It must be the limited quantities, highly sought after fucking mentality that I see going around with black metal, that it kind of explains or you know, gives a justification to the $20+ per single CD album price that I see for them. But I don't know. Let me know how you feel about that. Next one is basically for the wife, but I don't mind it actually. I used to be into Atreyu, and I kind of stopped following them after their, like, that weird, like, compilation album. I don't know where the fuck it is. It's somewhere around here, but yeah. And then we saw this for a cheap price at Walmart, not gonna lie, but hey, there we go. This is Atreyu with In Our Wake, which is their 7th album. It was pretty good actually. Like, some of the tracks were kind of nostalgic-y sounding, and some of the riffs are in this are pretty good. There's no way you're gonna see that fucking track list. Well, maybe, not bad. You know, rip phone users, because you're never gonna be able to see that. Did I show the fucking inside? I don't know. That's the inside, and the vocals are good. Like, the guy's obviously talented. Just the cover art for the CD comes with a booklet. Yeah, I mean, if you like lead sails, paper anchors, or whatever the fuck that one was called, there should be no real reason why you hate this. It's still Atreyu, basically doing Atreyu. They've grown up a bit. They've kind of matured in their sound a bit. They're not those, like, edgy little fucking scene queen kings, whatever, back in the day. They're you know, they're growing up, and they're kind of adding some more hard rock sounds, some more maybe post-hardcore metalcore vibes to some of their riffs. But either way, it was good. There's some really crunchy kind of like breakdowny stuff, and some kind of groovy hooks. So honestly, I'm not too ashamed to own this, but this is basically the Weiss. I mean, I'll listen to it for sure, but it's hers. Just wanted to show it because it's sort of punky. I mean, it's not really, but I mean, it's not like metal and it's not punk. It's kind of somewhere in between. So I just figured I'd show it with the punk shit. Now let's get on to some real punk stuff. I fucking sold all my band of this band to my sister Jessie Bailey. And then I kind of got back into punk, and I'm like, fuck, why the fuck did I sell all these? God damn it. So now I'm rebuying all these AFI albums. This is their first one, Answer That and Stay Fashionable. I don't know, it kind of looks like Boondock Saints or something. If this could focus, that'd be fabulous. Either Boondock Saints or Reservoir Dogs kind of look to it. It's kind of neat. I don't know, but it's basically just like really early, not so great punk. I like it, I enjoy it, but it's very early stages. Davey Havok, and his vocals are very squeaky and high pitched and whiny sounding, very nasally at times too. I'm saying this and it sounds like I'm, you know, taking a shot at them, but I'm not. I kind of enjoy that very young sound that they had. It's very nostalgic for me. It's very fucking like grade 9, 10 sound for me. Like, it says 1995, but I feel like this was earlier in release, but this is probably a repress, printed in Canada. This was before Dave Puget entered the band. So once he entered, or Jade Puget? Jade Puget. But yeah, before he entered the band, there's some very interesting songs on here for sure. Rizzo in the Box, Two of a Kind, I Want to Get a Mohawk, but my mom won't let me get one. That's probably the best song on here. High School Football Hero, Checkered Demon. Yeah, but anyways, there's some really decent songs on here. Sorry, I'm kind of geeking out, reminiscing in my own head here about some of those tracks on here. Gonna probably throw this on my phone and listen to this while I'm out in my doing my journeys in the cold winter wasteland. Whenever you guys want to order some more Drakir stuff. By the way, you know, tapes and CDs and shirts still available, so don't be afraid to order some and support the underground, my boys, and like 4 girls that actually watch this show. But yeah, so it's cool. They even like shout out to Rancid in the thanks here, so that's neat. They even shout out Jade Puget in this, even though he's not in the band yet, so that's neat. But yeah, classic first album by AFI, aka A Fire Inside. And the last one here is more AFI. This one is their 6th album with Sing the Sorrow, and this is where they start kind of going downhill. This was like the best album for this style of music they decided to play, this kind of post-hardcore kind of screamo, if that's what you want to call it. I don't know. I don't consider stuff screamo. I don't consider that a real genre. You know me. It's either post-hardcore or post-metalcore, or metalcore. You know, it's one of those 3. But there's no such thing as screamo. That's just something a fucking grade 9 kid came up with, and a bunch of his friends decided, yes, let's blanket term all of these bands that have like emotive singing and riffs with screaming added into it. Let's just call that screamo. But yeah, this is, like I said, this is AFI with Sing the Sorrow. Probably the best iteration of this style of music they started doing. I would recommend sticking with this or December Underground, and do not go past that. Crash Love was garbage. Burials was garbage. The Blood album is just fucking terrible. You basically just cut it off at December Underground and pretend AFI never made another album after that, because it's just pure hot flaming garbage after that. I mean, unless you like that kind of radio rock, emo, gothy alternative sound with some post-hardcore elements in it. If that's your thing, then by all means, get Crash Love and Burials and fucking that Blood album. But if you're a fan of AFI for when they were punk and maybe just starting to dip their feet into the post-hardcore scene or emo or whatever the fuck this is, then yeah, this and December Underground is where it's at. And yeah, I definitely need to get Open Your Eyes and Shut Your Mouth, and I definitely need to get Good On Ya. Their 2nd and 3rd album is great. Definitely need to get some Black Sails and The Sunset if I have not already done so. I don't remember. Did I get it? No. Art of Drowning and December Underground. Yeah, so I definitely need to get some Black Sails and The Sunset. Probably the Halloween EP. So, yeah. Anywho, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this unsuspectedly long punk update. Don't expect an end credit scene, because I don't have anything funny or useful to say after this, except go buy some Drakir merch. Like I said, CDs, tapes, shirts available, medium to triple XL, so Ethiopian skinny to fucking big boy sizes. Hit me up in the PMs. Hit up even the Bandcamp, because you can go there and avoid talking to me, because no one likes to talk to me. No, kidding. But yeah, you can skip me if you want. Just go straight to the Bandcamp and buy some shit. I actually need to get around to dubbing some more tapes, so hopefully I can do that with the next couple of days. If you order a tape, don't worry, it'll be dubbed by the time, you know, I ship it out to you, so don't worry there. Anywho, like I said, more of this shit available. Yeah, some tapes, good shit, and CDs. And I also got some of the old, just awful demos, but buy one, please. Available if you want, before a Curse Was Born. That's it. For Glory, for the Rebellion, Slammerella out.